Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator with the Rude Man. We are back in testing mode, and today's test is going to be a new recording system, and it's not new. It's new to me. I use OBS to do my live streaming, but I don't use it for recording videos. I use the NVIDIA system for on my GPU to record. I have for years. But I want to try the OBS because I think it might take a little bit less power for my PC to go through. So I'm going to try that today. And also, it's getting warm. This computer that I got is hotter running than my old computers. And it's getting warm. It's getting close to summer, and I've got a little window air conditioner that I use. Well, it's a heat pump. It's not one of the ones that goes in your window. It sits inside the building, and it conditions the air. It's a heat pump, and then there's a vent that goes out the window to take all the hot air out of the building. And so it's small, and it kind of keeps the room cool in the summertime, but it doesn't work 100%. It does about 80% of the job. So I'm going to try to do this and take that sound out that it's making. And I'm testing the video and the audio in this. And I've got some different things that I'm testing with the programs that I'm using. Long story. Let's get to it. So first of all, let's go and ask for some power. So we're going to request a GPU. And if I didn't mention it, we are in Manchester, and I'm going to be flying to Gatwick today. So it's a short flight. It's only about a 45-minute flight, but it's going to take me a half hour to set it up. So yesterday I tried to do this, and it was raining really bad here in Manchester. Today it doesn't look bad. All right, so we do have power. So let's come in here. We're going to turn on our batteries. External power is on. We're going to flip these things. And let's put on, let's see, we don't need to put our beacon on just yet, but we do put the nav lights on. And let's arm the emergency lights and turn a little bit of brightness into the panel. Not a lot, a little bit, in case we run into another thunderstorm like yesterday. Okay, let's get out of here. We're now going to request our catering.
Catering vehicles are on their way.
I'm just going with the GSX ones that they're suggesting at this point. Now, you may be able to tell that I'm a little anxious today and confused. I tried to do this recording 4 times yesterday and never got it done. So keep your fingers crossed that we can get it done today. There was quite a number of different problems. I had problems with the software. I had problems with the video. I had problems with the heat. I mean, it was one thing after another, and I attempted it all day. I would get frustrated. I would take a break. The closest I got was about 2/3 of the trip before something happened that caused me to stop recording. So keep your fingers crossed we can get through this today. All right, let's go in here, and we will turn a little bit of brightness on. All right, then we're going to go down here and turn the brightness up on the MCDU and a little bit on the panel. Okay, that'll work itself out automatically. All right, we're going to go down to the engines, and we're going to click a little panel light on here, and here, and over here. All righty, now check the trim is good. The cockpit door is open. I'm just going to verify that. Parking brake is on. The weather radar and the shear is off. Wind shear, that's all good. All right, everything's copacetic, and we need to wait for the fuel. So when this guy's done, we'll start getting some fuel. Let me go inside and make sure that we've got our tablet on. And it's 100%. Yesterday it was dead. All right, I'm going to import this. This is from yesterday. I'm going to re-import that if I can, if it'll let me. Maybe the same, I don't know, but we'll leave it. Yeah, it's different because yesterday it was 10:14 here and 10:15 here on the barometric pressure. So this is different. All right, so we're going to go in here and let's look at the fuel. 20,000. Wow. I don't know how many passengers yet. So we'll put that in. Fuel. Let's pull up the fuel. I don't know if I'm doing this out of turn. 174 passengers. Oh my goodness gracious. As soon as he gets close to being done, I'll call for some fuel. Looks like a beautiful day. All right, he's done. I'm going to call for the fuel truck. Try and do this as fast as I can. Get out of here. And it's weird. Yesterday, I don't think I chose the Swiss port. This is a covered ramp here. Yesterday it was an open ramp and it was raining like hell. I think I chose a different. I didn't choose Swiss port. I chose something different. I don't know what this van does. It must be his supervisor or something. I don't know.
Refueling truck is on its way.
We're waiting for the GPS
Please
to
don't load aircraft until the fuel truck
to heat up.
arrives and ask to do it.
We got 3 minutes left. You can tell by this over here. We have 3 minutes left for these to align. There's a couple of things that I am testing, and they are in the settings. Third-party party options. I've chosen to synchronize the fueling
Fuel truck is in position.
and the passengers, and to see if that's going to work.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask
So
to
we'll
do
see
it.
how that's going to work.
Please use your airplane fuel system to set the desired fuel quantity.
Okay, so we're looking at fuel, and I think all I have to do is start it. and that should start him up. And those now are synced. So what he's putting in should be the same as what we're doing here. Now, one of the things that you have to realize is on the payload, on the fuel, there's already fuel in the plane. So depending on where you're going, and as I said, this is a very short trip. It's only a 45-minute flight. I may have already had enough fuel to make that flight. If I had more fuel in the tanks than I needed to make that flight, they'll actually take fuel out. So that's just something that's kind of interesting. All right, so there goes that. And now we've got the catering done. We've got the fueling done. We can now request the boarding.
Boarding requested.
So I synced that up. One of the other things I did was I put in the co-pilot. So I've got company in here. The co-pilot's there if you have it running, but it doesn't show up. But on this particular plane, you can make it show up. You can also make it show up the pilot. So it's supposed to be me. Doesn't look like me in the least. And I can actually grow a beard. This guy's having trouble with that. But
do you want a board crew?
Yeah, board crew.
Crew bus is coming.
So anyway, it doesn't hurt to have the pilot there, because when I'm the pilot, you don't see him anyway. The only time you see him is if you pull the camera back. And obviously, if the camera is me, I'm standing back here. I can't be sitting there. But it's just a representation that there is a pilot there and not just an empty seat. So anyway, I thought I'd try that, see how that works out. All right, we're waiting for passengers. They're going to do the crew first. Let's go back in and see. I still don't have the alignments done. And I've got...
crew boarding starting.
They should be up. Oh, there it is. It is up. Okay. So I can start entering in the flight plan. But I want to see the crew come in. And look, this is covered too. I'll have to remember that. If the weather's bad, I want to choose this Swiss port, because the one I chose yesterday was all open. Everything was open and it was raining like hell. And I can't remember what it was. When you choose up here, it'll give you a choice. And I chose the Swiss port today. Just take a note. Put that in your pipe for later. Right, let's go into here. We're going to start this process. Oh, our fuel is in.
Your passenger's bus is coming.
Okay, here comes the passenger bus. The fuel is in, so we can turn our pumps on. Let's do that, and then we won't have to worry about forgetting that. And with the fuel in, we can also start up our APU. Let's get that going. And let's put the beacon light on, because we're going to be... No, beacon light, no, but the seatbelt sign we're gonna put on, and the no smoking. And then let's start the APU. And let's go out to the back here. For some reason, I just like to watch this. I just like to see the confirmation that there's fumes coming out the back of this thing, which there are. Okay, so we can come back in here, and the flaps are open. That means and the gauges are working. That means there's air coming in, and we can actually...
Passengers boarding starting.
Oh, here comes passengers. We can actually go in here and start our bleed. Now everything on here should be copacetic. The settings, everything that I actually have a necessity to have on is on. Let's go out and check. Passengers are loading. passengers are interesting in this. This is the GSX program that's doing that, that's providing that. I sat here one day real close to the end here and just watched, and there is a very wide variety of passengers. I was actually surprised that they had such, I mean, like, got old people, you got little kids that'll come on, you got people with backpacks. It's just a very wide variety. You don't see the same passenger going by all the time, which is interesting. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, getting back in here, we need to, we've got our APU running, so we can get rid of the generator. Let's dismiss that. And then let's go in and start setting this up. Okay, first we're going to go to our 8SU AOC menu, init, and request that information. Alrighty. And then we can go to init and request this information. Okay, got everything here. Cost index of 10. I'm assuming that's correct. We're going to fly at 18,000 feet today. All right, and then let's go to the flight plan. And we are in Manchester. That's our departure. We're going to be departing from five left. Okay, that's different than from yesterday. So we go 5 left, and then the SID is list 2S. Do we have that? List 2S right there. And I don't think we have a transition. Okay, so we do have a SID, we don't have a transition. So let's pop that in there. We're going to go to our destination. We're heading for Gatwick. Let's do the arrival. The arrival is going to be on 8 right. That's different from yesterday as well. So 8 right there. Do we have a star? Kidley G. Let's see if we've got that. There it is, Kidley G. Okay. And I don't think that we have a VIA, but let's check. The VIA in this case would be Kidley, and it's not there, so we have no VIA. And let's insert that. So that's our route. Let's go through it and see if we've got any discontinuities, and there is. And again, for anybody that's new, a discontinuity, these are our waypoints towards our destination. At this waypoint, the computer doesn't know how to get to this waypoint, so it puts a discontinuity in. It doesn't know what to do. So all we have to do is force it. So we're going to clear that, and it will force it to make a connection between those two. Now there is another one that comes up where it's manual. There's another discontinuity. There's another one that comes up that it says manual here, and what that means is that it doesn't know how to get there, and it wants you to enter a manual waypoint. Now you can do that if you know one. If you don't, then all you have to do is just clear the manual and then clear the flight, the discontinuity. All right, let's keep going. There we are at the end. Now, one more thing before we finish that off. Let's go check, see how the passengers are doing. Okay, and then let's go in here and check that everything's working. That's the problem I was having before, things weren't working. And they are. We got 64 passengers and 65 just went on. 65. So it is, they're linked now. Very good, very good. Okay, what we want to do now is come up here and enter this into plan. And let's put this up into 20. And let's run through this plan. So we're looking at Manchester here, and we're going to follow this flight plan. There's a little bit of an issue here, but I think it'll be just fine because they're so close together. I don't know what's going on here, but we should be able to work through that. It's trying to get to this area here, and it wants to go either here or there. And it's going through this one, so it looks like it's going to be fine. I'm just going to leave it. I don't think it's going to be a problem. By the time we figure out what the hell's going on, it's going to be past this point anyway. Okay, so let's go down. We're going to follow that through. We're looking for any breaks in the plan. Okay. All right, it looks good. It looks good. It puts us right in. So right. We're good. We're good. Okay, so let's get out of here. We'll check again on the passengers, see how they're doing. Come on. 88 of 174. We still got a ways to go. Let's come back in here. I can't do anything at this point until this is all good. Yeah, I can't do anything at this point until everybody's loaded, and the reason why
Passengers bus is coming.
You're sending another bus. The reason for that is I need all the passengers on board to get my weights and balances. And again, for anybody that's new, as the plane is being loaded, you notice that these things are brightening, these blue things. This is how they're loading the plane. So in this case, we got too much weight in the front. And so that's one of the things that it's going to do. It's going to try to balance this out so that we have a good center of balance in the plane. And that's why we have to wait. Because until all the passengers are loaded, I don't know what my center of balance is. And that's this down here. Okay, so I have to wait for that. I also don't know what the actual weights are going to be. So, and that's this up here. So I need to wait.
Passengers boarding starting.
So you can see as it's boarding, this is a graphic representation of where they need to put people as they come in. So nothing we can do but wait. So we'll just wait for the passengers to load, and then I can finish up. Good Lord. I've been sitting here for, oh my God, forever. I must have it set on reality here. It has to be. Let's see. We've got 174 passengers on. I can now finish my job, but let me check these settings out because all right, that's not what I need. Realism. Oh my God, it's all set at real. Everything's set at real time except for boarding. And that wasn't very realistic. The boarding is supposed to be fast. I think it's because it's linked. I don't think this matters now, because I think it's linked to the GSX. Holy smokes, that took forever. Anyway, let's get on with it. All right, so let's see. We've got current. So we got 133.5. Let's get that put in. Let's see, that's in it, page 2. 133.5. And then so that's our poundage, total poundage there. And then this is our center of gravity, 32.73. So it'd be 32.7. 32.7. and enter that up here. And our block fuel we're going to get from the flight plan. $11.4. Okay, so let's do that. 11.4. All right, so there we go on that. Now we need to do our performance, and we'll be done. Our performance, we're going to do one flap and for takeoff, one flap for takeoff, and then we can enter V1, V2, or VR, and V2. Okay, so these are, what is that? Stop that. These are a little bit higher than normal because we've got a lot of passengers, a lot of weight, and a lot of fuel. So even for a short trip. All right, so that should be that. Let's just run through everything here. We're gonna go. Let's check our barometer. What was it? 1016. So I need to change this from this format of HG to PA. I do that by doing that, and then I think it was it 215? Double check that. 217. Okay. So it's 217. So 217 there and 217 here. 217 there. All right, both flight directors are on. This is on plan. We need it on arc. I'm going to put that on 40 for now. I might change it back to 20. We'll see. I want to do an initial altitude of 4,000 feet to get started. And again, for anybody that's new, if you see these dots on the side here, that means that the plane is going to be managing. This is management mode. The plane is going to be managing the altitude, the heading, and the speed. So that's the climb speed, that's everything. Altitude, it manages everything. If I take over and do it manually, then that little thing will go off and numbers will come in here. All right, let's keep going down the line here. We're going to go to just check what we've got. No seatbelt signs are on, parking brake. The bleed is still running. We need that to start the engines. Throttle, let's make sure the throttle is in idle. We've got these things ready to go. I'm not going to do any of this down here until we're ready to, the engines are running and we're ready for takeoff. So I think we're ready for a pushback. I don't think I forgot anything. So let's do that. Prepare for pushback. We already got rid of the GPU. Our ACU is powering the plane because the engines aren't running. Well,
hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Okay. Where are you? There you are. Right, that guy's going to come in and put a pin in to lock the front wheels.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Okay, now this guy's going to come in here, get under those wheels and lift the plane up off the ground. And we're going to be going that way. That's where our runway is. All right, we want our nose to go right.
Locking gear.
Beautiful day for a flight.
Release parking brakes.
All right, parking brake is released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start the engines, and we're going to turn on the ignition. We're going to start engine number 2, and this is interesting. The airline usually has some kind of protocol, and a lot of airlines choose the protocol in which order the engines are started. And I watch a guy that flies EasyJet, and he seems to know a lot about the protocol, and he always starts the second engine first. So you can start them any way you want, doesn't matter, it's just a simulator. But if you're following procedures, okay, that's ready. Let's go back down to the engines and kick on number 2. You can start them in any that you want, but if you're following the airline procedures, then, you know, depends on how realistic you want to feel. Now, as I said, the APU is actually powering. Did you hear that click? That click was engine number 2 taking over the electrical system, and it's available from the APU. And then
Set parking brakes.
all right, parking brake is now set.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
All right, so as soon as we get an available on engine number 1, we've got a confirmation to give. But again, you'll hear a click on the number 1 engine, and it'll be the number 1 engine taking over the electrical system. And at that point, the engines are hot and running, and we can turn the APU off. There, you heard the click. Pretty soon we'll have an available up here. There it is. Okay, with that we can now give them a confirmation.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
All right, we can come back in here, and we can then turn the bleed off and the APU off. We can start clicking our lights on. I should have already had the beacon on when he was moving me.
Flight attendants, arm doors, and cross-check.
Okay, this is runway lights. We're going to turn them on. We're going to put the landing lights on so I don't have to worry about it later. We're going to do, you've got a takeoff and a taxi. We're going to taxi first, and we're ready to roll. We're just waiting for the ground crew to finish their job.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
The flight
Left is clear.
attendants,
Right is clear.
flight attendants are giving their spiel to the passengers. The ground crew has cleared the area around the plane, and then this ground crew member will give us our final okie dokie. So they're gonna get our attention first. Here I am, he says. Here I am. And then he's going to give me the signal, the OK signal, and the bye-bye wave. So we're all set to go. Have a good trip, he says. So with that, we can take our brake off, head out to our runway. Now, I think we're 5 left, if I remember right. That's pretty easy to get to. 5 left should be down here. So all we have to do is come down here and cross over. No, it's this one here. It's this one going that way. So all we have to do is come down here and hit that. Easy peasy. All right, we're slowly going out. Beautiful day, beautiful. I'm thinking about getting this. This airport is, like I said, Manchester, and this is been modeled, and this particular model, I think, comes with Flight Sim. But there's another one that it's a mod, and it's a lot nicer, and it's a German mod. And there's quite a sign-up thing to get them paid to buy it, and so I haven't been willing to do that. And I'm looking, and I'm seriously thinking that this is pretty nice as it is. I might just leave this one. Now, I did buy the Gatwick, and that's why I'm flying to it. I bought Gatwick Airport, and it's very nice. It's gorgeous. Right, so that's our airstrip right here. So we need to get down on this end and then take off to the left. At this point, I just left the throttle in idle, and that's giving me enough power to scoot. I don't want to go too fast. People tend to speed on these taxi things, and I don't really want to do that. Whoops, I missed my turn. Well, I could have went that way. Whoa, I'm overshooting it. Everyone's taking off. Uh-oh, get over it. Man, I'm flubbing this taxi up. These things are kind of weird. If you turn to the left and you let go, it's still going to the left. You have to steer it back. All right, let's get back in, get serious here. Seriouser and seriouser. So I have been recording for 47 minutes, and most of that time was waiting for the passengers. It seemed like it. But I really think this is a pretty short flight. If I'm not mistaken, you're supposed to hit the chrono when you start taxiing, but I didn't. So I'm gonna wait until I get up here. Let me slow down a little bit so I can make this turn. Now at this point right here where it's telling me the runway 5 left is the one I want, I'll stop right here and put the brake on because I am not close to I'm far enough away from the runway that I should be semi-safe for any other plane that's wanting to land or take off, such as that one. And I can then come in and finish up my my flight readiness. So let's go to main. We're going to hit the chrono, and we're going to come over here and hit this one over here. So that's going to start the timer running. We've already got the autopilot set up. What we need to do now is come down to the engine compartment. And we're going to put our wind shear on and our weather radar on. We're going to close and lock the cockpit door. We can turn the ignition off. We've already started the plane. Put our flaps down into 1, readiness for takeoff. Rudder's fine. Parking brake is on. I have seen a checklist that wants you to arm this. I don't understand why. These are speed brakes. I don't know why. And I'm gonna have to check on that. There may be a reason for doing it. I don't see one, but there may be. Now, if you're landing, you want to make sure that's armed. But so, and also on the TCAS, which we're going to turn on now, I used to set it to on, but If you ask the plane to get onto the runway when you start up and not go through all that load up stuff, you just want to fly, the game itself will put it in auto. So that's what I'm doing now instead of on. And then of course you turn this to on, from standby to on. When I do this, the pilot's going to tell the flight assistants that we're ready to take off.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
So we're ready for takeoff. Take the brake off and let's slowly get out onto the runway. Take a quick look, make sure there's no planes coming in. It's a big plane, takes a second to go. I could throw a bunch of power to the engines, but I'm in no hurry. I had to sit and wait for the passengers. It's too late if you have to go to the bathroom. I'm not stopping now. All right, at this point, I'm going to throw some brakes on, and I'm going to come into the throttle. One quick double check that everything's okie dokie. I'm going to kick it up into flex and take the brake off. And we're ready to go. I'm going to watch our speed down there. It's going to tell me when to rotate. So the speed right here. There'll be a marker that comes down to tell me when to rotate. You see it coming down now, that little triangle. And rotate. And we got a positive climb. A positive climb. Let me hit the autopilot. And then we're gonna bring the wheels up and flaps up. There we go. Out of Manchester. What a pretty day. Look at all the parking down there. Holy smokers. Okay, so immediately we're going to have a right to go off. Things over so I can see what I'm doing. Uh-oh, we lost our autopilot. Shoot. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna have to manually turn here. We're climbing to 4,000, which we just did. Oh, I see. I've got a problem there. The A floor. That's the throttle. All right, let me just turn around, get back up on our route here. But yeah, again, the throttle, especially on my system, it's a bugaboo. Okay, let me straighten out here. And let's see if we can fix that. Okay, first of all, I got to turn off the autopilot. And then let's put this down to climb. Turn the autopilot back on and see if we can get it to work. No, it won't come on. The A floor. Oh man, what is that? It's the speed for one thing. see if I can get that. No, it's still not right. Okay, it's a throttle issue. Let me get back in line here. Put it back in managed mode. Auto throttle off. Back in climb. See this right here? Our speed in that area will not let me put the autopilot on, so I got to get out of that. So I think what I need to do is I need to lower the nose.
Now we'll get time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we get here off road.
And now I'm in toga lock. Turn that off. Put it back in clear. Turn that on. And hit the autopilot. Now we're back in. We're back in. Let's make sure we're in managed mode. We are up here. You can see the little dot. All right, we're on our way. So, a little bit of bugaboo with the takeoff, but that's okay. If you didn't have things like that, you wouldn't need a pilot to correct them, right? Okay, so we're slowly climbing to our 18,000 feet, and I'm gonna go ahead and set that in since that's our cruising altitude. And we'll put that back in managed mode if we can. That's not gonna let us. But that's okay, we'll leave it, it'll go. We'll get there. No worries. In actuality, things are looking pretty good now. We are still going up. We're at 11,000 feet. I'm going to go ahead and, now that the autopilot and everything's working correctly, I'm going to go ahead and take the seatbelt sign off. Let people up and around. Okay. Taxi lights off. Runway lights can go off for now. Put the strobe on. I thought I already had that on. I must have accidentally hit it. So here we go. We're fine. We're good. All's great. We have 48 nautical miles to go to our first waypoint. And sit back and relax. We've got a beautiful day for flying. The clouds are kind of wispy. See if we can see anything from outside here. And I do have my warning sounds on the inside of the cockpit, which means there's a setting. There's a setting that you can put on so that you can hear any warning signs outside the plane, and I don't have that on. So I don't like to stay out here all that long. Every once in a while I want to go in and make sure I don't have any warning sounds going. Alright, it's not going to let us go back into managed mode. I don't know why. But everything's good. If you look at this, our speed, that's what that's supposed to be because we're in cruising speed. There's our altitude. It's showing that we have a vertical of 1,000, which is over here. And I'm just going to leave it until we get up to our 18,000. We're only at 9,000 feet and climbing. Make sure everything's landing gears up, flaps are up. We're slowly climbing, that's good. Once we get past 10,000 feet, I'm going to change the barometer setting. And I could actually come up a little faster. Since it won't let me put it in managed mode, I could actually why was it in down? That's weird. That is really weird. I put it in climb. Huh. That was strange. I didn't notice that. When I saw that it was at 1,000, it didn't hit me that it was going down. That's really strange, and it won't let me go back into manage mode. The only thing I can think of is that the plane has some restrictions in the flight plan. There are restrictions for speed and altitude in some areas where they don't want you flying over under a certain altitude. Okay, we hit our 10,000, so I'm going to come up here and turn this to standard, and then set this here down to standard. There we go. We're at a standard now, so everybody that's flying a commercial jet over 10,000 feet will go into standard barometer settings so that they're all on an even playing field as far as altitude goes. Because altitudes can change, and I may tell you, you may have two planes flying up here, and supposedly both of them are at the same altitude, when in reality one of them is 10,000 feet over the other one, because of, you know, the plane and circumstances and all that kind of stuff. So they go into what a standard barometer setting, so that, and the barometer is where you get to altitude. It's air pressure. So they have a standard one so that everybody's on the even plane. If I say I'm at 25,000 feet and you're at 35,000 feet, then you are at 35,000 feet and I am at 25,000 feet. So, I know, complicated. All right, we got 24 miles to our next waypoint. We got 14 minutes on the travel clock. Let's go out and enjoy some sunshine. There's where we've been. We don't need to know where we're going. We'll get there when we get there. I'm flying EasyJet today. EasyJet is my understanding in at least Great Britain, if not Europe, is an airline that is reasonably priced. So I was watching a sim pilot who happens to actually be a real life pilot. And he's actually switching planes. They're switching from, or he is. He's switching from flying Boeings to flying Airbuses. And the company he's working for, I don't remember the name of it. I'll have to think about it. But he said it's kind of strange because they're really, if they have food in the galley on a flight, the pilot and the co-pilot may get some, but they even if they want water, they have to bring it with them. And I thought, wow, that's kind of a cheap airline. But a job's a job, I guess. He said sometimes they have stuff to eat, sometimes they don't. So the pilots and co-pilots usually bring something with them. Especially something to drink, water. Okay, we're at our cruise speed. And I've already turned off the lights and all that kind of stuff. So we've got 10 miles to our next waypoint, which is Han. You won't know that. You'd have to look at the map. I'm going to step away for just a second. I got something to do. I think the wife's trying to get the truck started or something. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Anything happened while I was gone? Oh, we passed Han. We're arriving at Kidley. Let me go in and check this. We go down and check this flight plan. Okay, we're supposed to be at 11,000 feet, so we're supposed to come down at Kidley. So, hey, we're coming down already. So, let's set this up. I'm actually going to come down to 10 and try to put it in managed mode. It's going in managed mode now. Yeah, I want to be down to 10,000 feet at least by the time I get to Kidley. My biggest problem now, I don't have a lot of problems with landing anymore. I'm pretty comfortable with it. Again, some of the lining up with the runway is kind of a little bit of a bugaboo for me still, but I'm not overly anxious now with landings, except for getting down, especially in a commercial jet. They don't come down that fast, and you don't want them to. And so if it's telling me that so many miles away from the airport, it wants you at a certain altitude, I'm gonna fudge onto the lower side. So if it tells me it wants to be at 12, I want to be at 10. Because it's going to tell me it wants to be at 7. And it doesn't give me enough time to get down. So I want to make sure that before I get at least within 20 feet of the airport, that I'm down where I'm supposed to be to catch a glide slope. And sometimes if you follow the plan exactly, by that I mean if I'm following this plan exactly where it's going to tell me to be at 7,000 feet and I'm only a couple miles away from the airport, because I'm dropping from there, I'm dropping down to 3,000 feet all of a sudden, and you're only like 12, 13, 14 miles away of that. So yeah, I'm erring on the get my ass down side. So it's telling me to enter destination data. I can do that now, but I'm going to wait until I get a little bit closer. God, it's cloudier here than it was back in Manchester. Okay, at Gatwick, the barometer's lower, wind speeds of 3 kts. The temperature's a little bit warmer, and dew point's a little bit less, so it's going to be dry. And actually, the winds are a little bit higher in Gatwick than they were at takeoff, and coming from a different direction. All in all, though, it's still pretty good weather. Nothing to be concerned about. We get about 10 miles. We're going to take a slow, gentle turn to the left. So as I said, in preparation of warmer weather, as a matter of fact, this weekend we've got a heat warning. Our weather has been in the high 50s, very low 60s, like 61, 62. I think today it's supposed to get 63. That's a very good day for us. That's a good day for us. And so we're supposed to have weather in the high 50s and low 60s, except for Saturday night and Sunday day, where it's going to jump up in the high 80s, just for the one day. And Monday we'll be back in the 60s. So they're giving us a warning on that, and so that's why I'm trying to run this flight with an air conditioner running behind me, and so there's a constant hum in the voice microphone, and I'm going to try to cut that out with software and see how that works. Now, I've tried to do it before and it does work, but what you have to do is you have to run your recording system with nothing coming in the microphone except for the sound of that fan. Then you go and say, okay, that sound right there, cut that out. Now, what sometimes happens is it cuts out some of my voice that's in that same range, and it distorts your voice. So I'm hoping this is going to work. And that's again why this is my third test. I'm testing a new computer with new sound and new recording, and just to get it all set up to where I can make a decent recording. And for years now, I've been using Shadow Play, which is recording from my GPU, from my graphics card. And today I'm using a piece of software called OBS, which is the software that I use to do my live streaming. It has a recording capability, but I've never used it. In the past, before I was using the GPS to do it, I had a program that I paid for. God, I can't even remember the name of it now. But it cost me so much money a month to have a license to use it. And it was complicated, and you know, it was okay, but it didn't work all that great. Free is a very good price, so if OBS works, then we'll go with it. All right, we're hitting our 10,000 feet. We are still 41 miles away from our next destination. We, while I wasn't talking, crossed over Kidley. So our next destination, our waypoint is called Mid. And at Mid, we're supposed to be down to 7,000 feet. So let's drop her down. Whoops. I'm gonna drop down to 6. See how that goes? Little stoke. Oh, we're getting into some clouds. So actually, this is gonna work out great because hopefully hopefully, if I go down now before I get there, I'll be under the clouds. Because at mid, it's 37 miles away. At mid, that's when we start that little snaky thing to get to the airport. So we'll be damn close to the airport by the time I get there. So I want to be down and prepared. Doreen Heath, White Church Hill, those are all the things below us. White Church on the Thames. I don't know what these things are, but you probably do if you're from over there. Maple Durham, Sulham, and there's a lot of little places down there. All right, so let me show you what we're looking at here. I'm going to go to the main here, and you can see mid is my next destination. I'm 30 nautical miles away, and it's just a waypoint. But as you notice, once I hit there, I'm going to start into this snaky thing into my airport right here. Let me adjust this a little bit the other way. Let me put it up to 80, and you can see once I hit mid, I'm going to go all the way up here and back down and then into the airport. Kind of a corkscrewy thing. It is what it is. Let's put that in 20, and let's go see where we're at here. We're at 8,000 feet, coming down to 7 or 6. It wants me to be at 7, and that's what you're seeing here. This is what the flight plan is calling for right here, 7,000 feet. But I got my altitude set to come down to 6. So this flight plan may override my desire to come down to 6,000. We'll see when we get there. But I can actually start doing some things. Let's go into the main, and we're going to take this off of standard. And then we were looking at 1016. So let's put this into 1016 and then come down here and put this one into 1016, and then we want to put our auto brakes on medium. The anti-skid is already on. Let's go down here, and we're going to arm our speed brake. Get that armed, and I think that's about all I need to do to prepare. Coming down to 7,000 feet. We've got 18 miles to go. And we're in a fog bank. This might be interesting. I think we'll be okay once we get underneath. Okay, now we're going to want to be 7,000 feet at Willow. So 7,000 feet all the way through Holly, Willow, and then the decel is 7 also. And then it's going to want us to be just before landing. It's going to want us to be at 29. Right. Okay. So we're just about to 7,000. We're underneath the clouds now. Or the clouds have kind of gone away. Sweet. We got a few over here, though. And we're getting close to the airport. In 10 miles, the airport will be right across from us. So it's probably right over there. And again, the flight is heading to Gatwick. Gatwick Airport. Okay, so I'm going to try to, well, we got 8 miles. 8 miles. I'm going to come down to, let's see here. Switch this to 100 feet instead of 1,000. And bring this down to 33. See if we can get down there. And it's not working, so it wants us at 7 for the time being. Now I can override that, but I'm not going to. I'll be fine. I mean, it's already set to come down when it can, but we've got restrictions that it's holding us. That's what this is showing here. That purple bracket around our altitude. That's showing that's where it wants us to be if you're in managed mode, which I am. So right now it's the flight plan that's controlling it. We got a couple planes up above there. I remember a month or two ago, I'd be shaking in my boots now in anticipation of coming in for a landing, and I'm just relaxing. I'm not too concerned. Okay, we get a little bit of a turn to the left, then we're going to go straight for a while and do a 180, a crazy Ivan, they call it, crazy Ivan in submarine speak, when you do a wild 180 turn. All right, we're straightening up. In about 3 miles, we'll be at Tough Oz. And Tough Oz will still be at 7. Holly will still be at 7. Yeah, the airport is off to our left here. I don't think we can see it at this distance, but wow, there's clouds. There's Gatwick. There's our airport right there. So we're going to go straight in our direction, take a quick 180, come back, and take another turn into Gatwick. So we'll be coming back right about in here, and then take a right to Gatwick. Fun times, huh? And we better put our seatbelt signs back on. And no smoking. And let's see, runway lights on. Alrighty. Okay. Ground spoilers are armed. Seatbelt sign is on. Landing lights are on. Did I turn that on? No smoking signs are on. I did not have it on. And it is now. We're 39 minutes into our flight. Like I said, it's about 45 minutes. I can't remember. It's been a while. But we better start coming down pretty soon. I think Holly, we're still supposed to be 7. There's our decel right here. Right there's our decel. We should be able to come down for there. And then we'll be down to Willow. I want to be down at 3,000 by the time we get to Willow. Hopefully. We can't see it. It's under the clouds. But they're not dangerous clouds. They're just kind of wispy. Wispy. We'll be fine. This is a beautiful day. I tell you, one of the things that I've enjoyed over the years that I've been recording and live streaming is being able to share what I'm doing with people from other countries. I remember the first time I had like 100 people in my subscription count, and I was so excited that there were that many people that wanted to watch my videos. And then I found a statistic that said I had people viewing from 98 different countries, and I thought, what? It was a little bit later, after 100. Like when I had my first 1,000. I had about people from 98 different countries watch my videos. It didn't mean they were subscribed. It's just that people from 98 different countries had tuned into one of my videos. And I thought, wow, that is just so cool. And you've heard me say that when I'm traveling, I'll look at a farmhouse and I'll think, I wonder what they're doing. Are they sitting at the dining room table having dinner? What do they do for a living? What's their life like? I try to imagine as I'm traveling those kinds of things, because the world is full of people, and I'm just curious of what everybody's lives are like. And it's kind of enjoyable for me to think that other people are living just like I do. Because we're all on this earth, we're all equal, we're all the same. We all have joys and hard times and things, families in our lives. And I kind of like to think, you know, what's your life like if you live in Devon, for example? I mean, that kind of stuff. And why am I not coming down? I'm still there. Am I started yet? Let me down. I'm at 7,000 feet. I want to be down. Anyway, it's refreshing for me to think that there's people in other countries watching my videos and enjoying them while they're eating their haggis or whatever. Okay, we got 8 miles. There's Gatwick. I better start coming down. Let me down. I'm going to change this from 33 to 3. And see if I can get this thing come down. It should start coming down after the decel there that we're almost to. Uh-oh. That doesn't look good. I might have an issue here. That doesn't look good. What is this? Okay, I'm gonna take that out. It doesn't look right. I'm gonna take this marker out. Uh-oh. That didn't do it. I'm trying to clear that right there and see if that helps me out. Okay, it looked like it fixed it. All right, let's take this. Glad I caught that. Are we coming down yet? We're not coming down yet. All right, where did it want me to come down to? All right, I'm gonna come down to 29, was it? Man, it better come down. It's got to come down fast. What's that blinking down there? It's a UFO. It's landed. It's sucking people up. Is that an airplane? Hey, we're coming into a cloud bank. I think it's just sunlight off of a river. I don't think it's lights. Okay, we should be coming into a turn in 4 miles, and I'm down to 4,000. I need to be down. Come on down. Okay, I'm gonna drop the landing gear. And I'm gonna turn the localizer on.
Please prepare for landing.
Okay, localizer is on. Brakes are at medium. Okay, I'm down to 3,000. As soon as I straighten out, I should be able to lock onto the localizer and then put the approach on.
$2,500.
All right, let's put our approach on. Glide slope is lit up. All right, I'm going to drop a flap.
2,500.
Our localizer is locked in. We're on the glide slope.
2,500. 2,500.
I don't know. Seems like I'm a little high. Throw another flap down. Something's not right. I'm gonna bring it down myself. It's not bringing me down like I wanted. Okay, flaps are down. I just dropped the last flap and we're getting off course here.
Pull up! Pull up!
Oh, hush
Pull
up.
up!
Yeah, this is not good. Got off course. Oh, crud.
Pull up! Pull up!
So things went haywire fast.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Not the best landing, but it works. I don't know what happened, but it did. I was worried about that when it told me to go down to 7, and I had to stay at 7 for so long. I got a little concerned. And it didn't act like it was lining up correctly. But hey, that's why you manually land. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, let me see where I want to be. Where do I want to be? I think I'm going to come in over here. This is Gatwick. Look at all the markings on the ground. It's cool. This is a good thing here. 140. I can come into any of these, I guess. 140. Well, let's go up a little further. $140, $141. Let's look at this one. Let me come in here. It may be going to tell me that this spot is too small for this plane, but let's see. Let's see if it'll let me do it. let's stop it here and see if it'll let me do this. Okay, let's make sure we're in idle. And see if we can do anything.
You need to stop the engines to request ground services.
All right, it wants me to stop the engines. I knew that, but I wanted to see if it was going to tell me whether I was okay in a spot like this. Let's put the flaps up. Disarm that. That didn't even go off. I couldn't have hit too hard. Let's turn these off. Okay. And then turn our TCAS off. Put that on standby. Standby. Turn those things off. All right, we need power. So let's grab some power. So we got external power is on. And we can then shut down the engines. Come up here and turn the pumps off. Fuel pumps off. And then request deboarding.
The boarding requested.
Kick our lights off. We're going to turn these off. All right, here comes the deboarding. We made it. It's been a good test. Now, I now need to get the sound and the video put together into a rendered video and see how the sound worked, see how the video recording worked. But the flight test is fine. I mean, it worked fine. And again, we had a little trouble on the start, on the takeoff.
Passenger's bus is coming.
And we had a little bit of trouble on the landing, but it was good. And what I mean by being good is those are things that can go wrong. And you need the pilot to take over and fix them and make and solve the problem. And we did. We landed safely. It was a little, not, it wasn't the most beautiful landing. It wasn't a bad landing. But there you go. Things worked out. That's why you have a pilot behind the wheel. Not that I'm a pilot, but you know what I mean. All right, now throttle. I thought I had that in... I do. That's weird. Looking at the engines, it looks like I'm in auto thrust, a reverse thrust. This engines, but I'm just gonna consider that a glitch.
Passengers deboarding starting.
All right. So let's get down here where we can see the passengers deboarding. Let's take a look at this. Now these are linked, so I shouldn't have to say anything in here. We got 174 passengers. And there they come. Let's see what it says up here. Bye-bye. Thanks for flying with us. Luggage is coming off perfectly fine. Passengers are coming off and getting boarded into a bus. Let me go inside here and see if I'm supposed to do anything here. What did that say? It said something up there. Oh, baggage. Okay, 9 out of 174, so Okay, it's going down. Passengers are going down. See it right here? So we're being deboarded. Very good. Okay, so far the test has been good. The proof's going to be in the pudding when I put the sound and audio, audio and video together. And if you see this online, you'll know that we got it done. I'm going to go ahead and stop talking now because my flight is over. And thank you for joining me. I'm going to let it run so that all these guys get deboarded and I can shut the plane down safely and get everything turned off and the pilots sent home. But I'm going to stop it here. If you want to stop watching it here, you certainly can. Then I'm going to let the recording run. Thank you for joining me. Hope to see you in the next one.